say to that young kid that walks up to you and says, you know, I want to play, I want to sing, I want to be like you. Well, what advice would you give that kid? How to go about getting there?
I would love it. That's my passion, is actually just helping anyone do anything that I've done and more. What I would say to them is tell them I would connect them with everyone that I could that has helped me, and I would actually bring them on board. I have no problem with doing that, and I've done it for many
Just bringing them on board, have them join.
Bring them on board. Okay. There's more than enough room to make it a win-win situation.
So it's like
the table's wide.
No one is going to be turned away, basically, so long as they want to press on their talent to move forward with that.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. Because you know what, I'm still very humble, and I appreciate this. I can't believe that I'm even in the position I am now.
Right.
I consider it a blessing every day. I'm just like, wow, I can't believe the opportunities that are coming to me. Also, it has to do with I'm creating them. You know, I'm putting that out there into the universe, and I'm getting that kind of energy back to me because of what I put out there. I'm still doing what it takes. Even God can't, steer a parked car, so I have to do something. But I believe that they'll go along that path as well.
Do you see? How do you envision some of the artists that are out there already? Their music. Do you see that music somewhat influencing kids in a negative way? Some of the types of music out there that needs to change.
I wonder.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing the songs that become most popular. But that's the world we live in today. It's to be quite honest, that's the world we live in today. Until musicians even go out there and start singing other things. But even if they do, I really can't blame them. At first, even I was hesitant to go along with some of the rum songs and this and that, and even jam to it. But you know what? The crowd wants that. I've had one performance recently where they just demanded it. They demanded a rum song there, and I'm just like, wow. So all I can say is hopefully we can kind of change the mentality a little to look at some brighter things and more positive things in our culture besides just rum and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are some of the positive things you think?
Some of the
positive things that are in our culture right now that we can capitalize on and turn that into songs that will transcend time. So if you're looking at kids right now, your music, when we watch, this is all coming from looking at you on stage, watching you from the audience perspective, and seeing, young kids run to that stage and crowd that center, and they want to hear you, but there are many things I personally think that's wrong with music, and there's so many artists out there that can change. They have the power to change the way kids, because at the end of those kids are, they're adults waiting to happen. Things that that occur today and that takes an active role in their psyche. They tend to play out later on, because I was reading an article in the West Indian newspaper about Indian actors like smoking on screen, and what they've seen is that a rise in teenage smoking in India, basically because kids mimic what they see, they think it's cool, right? So when you think of music, what you say does have an impact, and that's something that that artists like you, who bring that positivity, that life, that motivation to music, can make a big difference, and there's so many things that you can. I mean, in literal sense, music changes the way people think. Music will affect people better than reading a book, because when they hear that stuff and they respect where it's coming from, it carries a definite message, and watching you and watching the role that you played, and that was one of the main reasons why we're here today, because that role, when we watch from that audience and we see, wow, who is this guy the first time, it wasn't about the music, it wasn't about what you sung, but it was more about the people, that your positivity, that exudes from you, in a sense.